Commissioner Rob Manfred is considering a petition filed on January 8th by Pete Rose's family to have the all-time hit king posthumously removed from baseball's ineligibility list, which would then allow him, theoretically, to be inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. Now, recall, Manfred had previously rejected reinstatement petition back in 2015, and for good reason, because basically for 20-plus years before he ultimately passed away, Pete Rose was given chance after chance after chance to be reinstated. As early 2000s, Bud Selig said, hey, we will reinstate you on these conditions. You have to admit you gambled on baseball, you can't make casino appearances, and you got to stop gambling. Pete Rose is like, nah, I ain't doing that. Then in 2004, Rose admitted himself in a book that he gambled as a manager of the Reds, but he said, hey, I only bet on my team to win, so it's okay.
You know what, Rob G? Here's the thing. A degenerate gambler has integrity.
That's right.
Can you believe that? He knows, Kelvin, that the guy who you have pitching on your team tonight has been rocked like a rag doll his last 3 starts, and you're not going to bet against the Reds, right? Because you have integrity.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I know.
Come on.
And then last but not least, this ESPN reported themselves that not only did Pete Rose bet as a manager, he bet as a player too. But this time, Pete Rose is like, I cannot confirm nor deny any of those situations. So we are where we are right now. TBD whether or not Manfred decides to remove the ban.
And here's the softening. Well, baseball's in with gambling now, and they're in bed with gambling, so this should clear up or soften the stance against Pete Rose, right? Because gambling's a part of the society, and certain states you can bet and all that. I say to Pete Rose lifting the ban, no way, no how, and I don't care what pardon he gets or whatever thing people are trying to clean up. And you know this, Kelvin, as a BBWAA member and a guy who votes for the Baseball Hall of Fame and who has watched this thing, you know, all the way through. I just don't think that there was a bigger warning to players in sports. And you know this, when you walk into a baseball clubhouse, the biggest sign on the wall is about gambling.
Yep.
It just is. It's everywhere. It's bigger than the moon. And guess what? Pete chose to ignore it, thought he was bigger than the game, and sadly, he put the integrity of the sport in harm's way. Without integrity, MLB would wind up being the WWE. And worse is that he was never honest about his involvement and never fully accepted responsibility. And you just heard this. Bud Selig said this. Had he been very upfront in the very beginning, there would have been a healing process, and there would have been a great chance that he made it to the Hall of Fame. Don't you forget, a number of years ago in Cincinnati for the All-Star game, they allowed him to participate when they did the Mount Rushmore of every team. And they were like, we can't have a Mount Rushmore of the Reds and not have Pete Rose. Pete Rose was born in Cincinnati, played for the Reds, a legendary figure, a part of the Big Red Machine, all that. Baseball had no reason to not want that guy a part of its game. None. Other than the integrity part. And here's my last thing. All of his stuff, we know how great he was as a player. There's never any doubt about that, his ability and what he was able to do, Kelvin.
Yep.
All of his accomplishments and records are, guess what? Displayed at Cooperstown. It's not like they whitewashed him, right? And they struck his name down and nobody knows he ever existed. And they have his jersey and they have his cleats and they have his bat. They have everything.
Yeah.
Everything is in Cooperstown, New York at the Baseball Hall of Fame. But even in death, he will be remembered, but he should not be honored. To me, it's simply too late.
You, my brother, said it very eloquently. There's only a couple things I'll add and maybe just even reinforce what you already mentioned. I think there's a cautionary tale for all of us, including myself, you, Rob, Mary, Steve, whomever. Couple of things. One, pride before the fall.
Yes.
We've all heard that a million times. You say, well, what does it mean? I'll give you an example of what it means. So you talked about the fact that there's a point when they knew he gambled, right? He knew, they knew, I knew, you knew, we knew, everybody knew. And he still, oh, no, it wasn't games. It was only when I was managing, only when I was coaching, and it wasn't when I was playing. Years later, no, we got all the evidence with you playing. No, I'm not saying I confirm. I'm not saying that. At some point, you have to push pride to the side, fall on the knees for grace, and ask for forgiveness. You know what's natural about human nature? We're mad. We can't stand you. It could be your personal life, relationships, romantically, your best friend, your parents. But when someone falls on their knees, just flat out for forgiveness,
yes,
face in the ground, please forgive me, it's kind of hard to not. You might not in the moment. You might still be upset. But eventually, time can heal that wound, and you can say, you know what? They've put in the work. They've shown contrition. I forgive them, or I'm at least willing to move on.
Yep.
But at every turn, he had a chance, and it's almost like baseball, Rob. First base, denying it, nah. Second base, we got the evidence. We know you did it. I ain't do it. Third base, okay, now we got evidence you did it as a player too. And he denied, all the way around home. And then to try to come at the end. Now, here's the issue with that. I'll give you an example of what we're starting to see. A-Rod gets caught, admits it, yo, my bad, blah, blah, blah. He's starting to come around so much so he's calling World Series games and laughing and joking. We're seeing him in the studio for Fox.
He was on both ESPN and Fox, never before doing baseball. 100%.
Exactly. You know why? Admitted it. Owned it. We're starting to see him. Said, I felt pressure. He's done documentaries. He's been in different pieces about it. Mark McGwire got ahead of it early. We started to see him pop up with the Dodgers, being a hitting coach and whatnot. Barry Bonds is popping out a little bit. Seeing him at the All-Star game up in the NBA because it was a Bay Area, honored the Bay Area greats. And obviously he hasn't fully admitted, but my point is when you start, look, you fall on the knee for grace, for mercy, forgiveness. People want to forgive you. You put in the work, you show contrition, you show your earnest and honestness of trying to be better. There's a chance. And I think another prime example is Mike Vick. He didn't deny it to the ground. That was my boys. I ain't had nothing to do with it. That was my boys. He got caught. He admitted it. He owned it. Went to prison. Came out. By all accounts, has been nothing but upstanding citizen. Learned from it. Working with Peter. Now he's a head coach for HBCU. And so there are examples that we have. But
Wheat
at every
Peter or
turn,
white Peter? Okay.
Right, just whatever the Peter bread is. Okay, give me wheat. I prefer wheat, but. We have examples, and that's what's so disappointing is that he had chance after chance to fall down, and then he kept having transgressions. Some I won't mention, you know what, and questions about personal life and dating and issues there. Yep. It just kept being thing after thing where at a certain point, we just can't put you in, period. Not because we ever question your ability, your skill, your desire, your will. None of that's ever been questioned about Pete Rose. It's missed opportunity. Every chance he got to fall down, ask for forgiveness, grace, and kept ruining it and blundering and talking bad about MLB too, by the way.
No doubt.
So, yeah, that's my whole thing is he blew all the opportunities. And I think folks like you who have votes, some will maybe come around because they'll say, I'm just going to turn a blind eye and just focus on the baseball. I think others are going to be like, no, he not at no point. Why? If I didn't do it when he was living, why am I going to do it now that he's dead?
It makes no sense. I'm with you.
Rob and I talking about Rob Manfred tossing around the idea, considering possibly maybe reinstating Pete Rose, who has had, of course, several chances. You and I both agree it is not meant to be done. Shouldn't happen. For me, he had too many chances to make it right. Chose not to, and that's the thing. Personally, chose not to. Wasn't beyond him. Something he couldn't do. He chose not to, Rob. And so I'm out on it personally. 877-99 on Fox. Taking calls. Who we got?
All right, let's kick it off, and we get as many calls in, so give us a call. How about Casey in Pennsylvania? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Casey?
Yeah, I got one question for the family. Do they have any memorabilia they're looking to sell?
Okay, is that it?
Okay, continue. Why you say that?
Where are you in on yes or no? As far as
if he gets awarded the Hall of Fame, how much more is that memorabilia worth?
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying for us, for the longevity, for money, if he's a Hall of Famer, we get more money for those things. I get what you're saying.
All right, Casey. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it. How about Chris in Syracuse? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys, I love your show. I listen to it every night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
A lot of controversy. I got to go yes. I went to school in Plattsburgh, and we used to go to Montreal in the early 70s and mid-70s to watch the Expos play. And I saw the Big Red Machine a couple of times, the great bench, Morgan, etc. But Pete Rose was one of the most captivating baseball players I've ever seen.
He was a great player. There's not even any doubt. And Chris, 100%, 100%. Charlie Hustle. He was just the pain in the butt if you were rooting for the other team with the Reds. But answer this, though. Is all the chances baseball, and he still couldn't come clean and admit that he did what he did. They have the evidence.
I know, but all that's out there, but sometimes you just got to go with what he did on the field playing, and that's kind of how I go.
Oh, is that how they do it? I don't think they do that for
I would, yeah. In a perfect world, you're right. In a perfect world, you're right.
You can't separate the man. Everybody keeps saying that. No. You can't separate the man. Oh no, well, we don't want to. No, that's not how it is.
Yeah. Well, not to mention this part of the man played a role in baseball. I mean, it's not like a completely separate. Like he did something to his, his wife. Somewhere you can say, hey, that had nothing to do with baseball. This was still part of baseball. I understand it's not how he was playing,
right? But it
is
was
a part of baseball.
Exactly. Even more so. Like this wasn't the personal life only. This was the integrity of the game. That should be held higher. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm with you. This isn't a personal issue. Andrew in Bakersfield, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
I'm all right. I don't think Pete Rose should go in, but someone said in consideration should be the fact that gambling is legal everywhere. But,
all right, but it wasn't when he played.
But even now, players and coaches can't bet on baseball, right?
100%. The rules have not changed.
Exactly.
Even though gambling is legal in most states, 30 of the 50 states, but you still can't bet. In the NFL, guys have been suspended for a year, right? And guys have been suspended and lost jobs for betting in the facility, not even betting on their team, but in the facility. So I don't understand how that changes people's minds.
Exactly. It's the same as it was.
It hasn't changed, no doubt. Thanks. How about Kenny in Mobile, Alabama? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Kenny?
Hey, guys. Love the show, coming from the original home of Mardi Gras.
Thank you, buddy.
That's right.
I just want to say, not saying it's right and it's not, but I think it should. Maybe not right now or in the future. I mean, I look at it this way. I look at it as, betting is wrong and all, but I think I'm looking at it as he had confidence in himself and his teammates, that he'll get the job done. I mean, I'd rather play against somebody like that than somebody that's taking steroids that has the clear advantage.
Cheating is cheating. What do you mean? I mean, it's against the rules. Seriously.
But if I'm playing sports and I'm clean, I'm not shooting anything in myself to, make me perform better. I'd rather play with somebody that's, hey, putting an extra couple of dollars saying that I'm going to get the job done than somebody that's, cheating. I think steroids give you more of an advantage than somebody just.
Well, what if the guy who's at the plate is facing a pitcher on the juice? There's a gray area there. And guess what? Thanks for the call, Kenny. And Kelvin, you know this. Mm-hmm. It wasn't one of the banned substances when most of that stuff was going down. They didn't test for it. Right, after 2005, if you got busted, then that's your fault. Because then they said, we're testing for it. I just don't understand.
Listen, and not to mention, the league knew. They turned la 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 blind eye. I don't want to hear nothing. La 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 la. Like I don't want to hear nothing. Numbers are up, ratings up. I don't know what's going on. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it, and they knew what was going on. But I think again, the key part to this is Pete Rose had multiple times to just fall and ask for forgiveness and grace, Rob. And instead, not only did he not, and it wasn't like he didn't, Rob, and then he disappeared. He didn't ask for grace and then was defiant and talking smack and doing wilder stuff and popping up on shows and reality shows. Sometimes people, it is okay to go sit down somewhere. Just go sit down somewhere. Lay low, let things blow over, and not be so defiant. And he was the polar opposite of like, let me go buy my time, show contrition, do some good work. He was the polar opposite until his death. I watched the documentary on him till his death.
No doubt. John in Lexington, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, John?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I love y'all. Hey.
Thank you.
I get what you're saying, but, I mean, this is Pete Rose. Didn't they call him Charlie Hustle? I mean, he had a hustle going on the field and maybe a little off the field, but throughout the years of baseball, there's been controversy. And I don't know how much is proven that he actually bet against.
Can I say this, John? They have the betting slips. I just wish people. Major League Baseball has boxes and boxes and boxes of betting slips. The bookie who took the bets is on the record. They had investigations. Like, that is not in question.
And not to mention, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I believe you 100% on that. But I mean, he's Pete Rose. He was a great player. Put him in the Hall of Fame, and they should have done it when he was alive. Honor the guy for his play, but, put an asterisk to something. The fact that McGuire, Bonds, all these guys are in, that they made guys watch the game.
We get it, but there are rules in place for a reason. Baseball, the one thing you can't give up is your integrity. When what you're watching, and thanks for the call, Kelvin, you know this, is this real? Is this how many Sundays? Rob G knows this. You know it. You look on social media. After every NFL game, what do they write and what's trending? Rigged.
The NFL script story. Yes. They're sticking to the script. This is part of the Hollywood script written for the leagues.
Or it's rigged, right?
Rigged. Ain't fair. Yeah, we already know. Yeah. And you're right about that, man. And so that's what you're trying to protect. And I always say, sports are the only real reality TV.
Yeah, that's why they still get big numbers. You don't know what's happening.
I don't care what you think is going to happen. Nobody had Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. I mean, you don't know.
Nobody had the Eagles blowing out the Chiefs. Nobody had that.
I couldn't hear you. My headphones, something was wrong.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, that's my point. And you can't mess with that. You can't jeopardize that and make people feel like, no, something ain't right about that. You don't want to ever do that, man.
No doubt.
At all.